when you eat could be as important as what you eat. This is another general concept that I really want to talk about because I think it's really, really important that we understand a little bit more about our physiology and how we can really tap into that to get the best results possible. So if you're out there wondering about things like belly fat or body weight, you really want to pay attention to this because this was a game changer for me. So again, you know the history of my dad, where he had type 2 diabetes, died of a heart attack. And if we look at, other people in my family, like we would trend to carry extra body weight around our bellies. Now, latest science talks a lot about how dangerous belly fat is for your overall health for a number of reasons. One, it promotes inflammation. So when you are carrying extra weight around your bellies, what it does is it secretes these pro-inflammatory hormones, which can create other problems in your body and actually lead to other disease type processes down the road. So belly fat's something we really want to take seriously. Now, if you do the eating part of the program, you're going to get some results with that. This will speed it up. So this is really where I want to explain this well to you, because if you tap into this, it can really speed up the results that you get around burning some belly fat. So we know that belly fat is dangerous. So how can we get it out of our bodies? Well, food timing and when we eat is really important for this. Why? Because way back when, if we think back 20,000 years ago, so our genetic code, our genes have not changed in 20,000 years. So think back, right? Our bodies developed this system of fat storage and fat utilization because food wasn't always around. So we didn't always just have food available to us. So our bodies are so smart. We developed this process where we could store extra fuel as body fat for a time in case we didn't have food. And then if we didn't have food, your body can tap into this fuel source and burn it as an energy source. So our bodies are really smart. So if we're carrying extra weight around our bellies, there is a way that we can actually start to burn that off. One of those ways is timing when we eat and sometimes closing our eating window. So what we're going to do, we're going to introduce some concepts around intermittent fasting. Okay, so one of these things is around how long you are, eating and how long you are not eating. So we're going to go through some details of this in the next couple videos, but it's really important that you understand that you have this naturally in your body. It's designed to burn fat. It's actually a healthy thing. And so sometimes if you're eating too frequently, that could also change your insulin response, and that could be another reason why you're storing some extra body fat. So as a general concept, what it is the idea where you are not eating for certain hours per day and where you are eating in a condensed window for certain hours per day. So this can vary a little bit between male and female, but let's start here. As a starting point, what I would like everyone to try is the time from your last meal. What I would like you to do is not eat for 12 hours to start. So basically, let's say you had supper, let's say you had a snack, and let's say that was 8 o'clock or 8:30 was the last time you ate. When you don't consume anything at all, no calories, you can have water, but when you have no calories from let's say it's 8:30 at night until 8:30 in the morning, you just fasted for 12 hours. That would be an example of an intermittent fast. So then if you started consuming calories again from 8:30 in the morning till 8:30 p.m., you have a 12-hour fasting window and a 12-hour eating window. Now, from that point, what people have studied, they've actually done lots of studies on this, is where they've shrunk the eating window to 8 hours and expanded the fasting hour to 16 hours. So what would this look like in the course of a day? Well, you would have lunch, say around 12 o'clock, and you would be able to have all of your calories until 8 o'clock, and then you wouldn't eat again from 8 p.m. till 12 the next day. That would be an example of a 16-hour fast. So what's the benefit of intermittent fasting? Well, think about it this way. What I want to do is give you an analogy about a fridge and a freezer. So when you go grocery shopping, if you had more food than you need, where would you put it? Where would you store it? You'd put it in the freezer, right? So for us in our bodies, that's basically abdominal fat or fat in other places in our body, but that's the first place that your body stores it, is around your belly. So that's your freezer. Your fridge is really your liver. So your liver is the first energy source because it takes glycogen and it breaks it down into sugar for our bodies to use. Now, most people, if you're just a normal person, after about 12 hours, your liver empties and you start to tap into the next energy source, which for most of us is going to be our abdomen. That's the benefit. So that's why the number of hours is important. So if you start at 12 hours and you wake up, and yes, it's okay, you're going to feel hungry, and hunger is normal part of this. You drink some water and your body will, your stomach will get full and it'll send the message that there's something in there, so you be less hungry. So that's a tip. Drink some water. But if you can extend that, okay, little by little, and if you can get to that 16-hour mark and your body feels fine doing that, there's a tremendous benefit, because now you have nothing left in your fridge, right, which is our liver, and now you're getting to your freezer. So if someone came to me and they said, look, I've got this extra 20, 30, 40 pounds around my midsection, I really want to get it off, intermittent fasting is one of the fastest ways to do it. So they've done studies where they said, well, here, this group, you're going to have 2,000 calories and you can eat it anytime through the day. And this group, you can have 2,000 calories, but you can only eat it between the hours of 12 and 8. And they followed these people for a number of weeks, and guess what happened? The people that did the intermittent fasting, they actually lost inches around their belly. So it improved their body composition. Didn't matter where the calories were coming from. So imagine this. If we fine tune what you're eating and we reduce the amount of carbohydrates that you're taking in, which is going to have an effect on your insulin and it's going to help your body burn fat naturally, and we start intermittent fasting, you can imagine how we're going to see faster and faster results. So the benefit is really, I know sometimes people are like, oh my goodness, I can't eat anything. And I used to, when I started doing this, I started doing it on my earliest practice day. So when I started this, I just started doing it on Friday mornings because I was already at the clinic seeing patients by 7:30. So for me, I'm not a real morning person, so I'm not one of these people that's up at 5:30 in the morning. So it was really easy for me to just not eat breakfast. And then what happened around 9:30 or so, I would get pretty hungry. So I would just drink, as much water as I could. And then when I was ready to eat by 1:30, 2 o'clock, I found that I felt really, really alert. And so what I understood now is that my body started burning fat and I was producing ketones, and your brain does very, very well on ketones. So a lot of times there's not just a physical benefit, but there's a mental benefit. So what happens after you get past that 12-hour mark, your body starts burning your belly fat, and most people, they start to get these really clear moments, right, where they're really super focused. So fasting, it's not just good physically, it's also good mentally. So if you want to burn belly fat, what we want to do is we want to try and incorporate this as many days as you can into the program, but not necessarily every day. So your body will get accommodated if we did it every day. So what I usually teach people to do is to start right away trying to do 12 hours. The main fasting rule is if your body feels okay, then you keep going. What does okay mean? Well, it's okay to be hungry, okay? But it's not okay to feel really faint or dizzy. So if your body's feeling unwell, or you're just like nauseous, or you're faint, you're dizzy, then that's a sign that your body needs something. So you can go ahead and eat. Now, when you do choose something, you want to make sure you just don't grab whatever you can. You want to make a good choice with that first snack or meal. So you want to make sure it can have some carbohydrate, but you want to make sure that you're not just grabbing something, right? We want to stay true to our low carb principles here. In summary, for intermittent fasting, what we want to do, start with 12 hours, and you want to work your way slowly up, if you're male, to 16 hours. If you're female, we're just going to go to 12 and then 13 and then 14 as long as you feel well. And we want to start doing this at a minimum 3 days a week, but not necessarily every day. So if you feel well, again, you can keep going in time. So I have some people that will even fast for a few more hours, like 18 hours a day, and that's okay as long as you feel well. We just don't want to do that every single day of the week at the beginning of the program. So you want to do this intermittently, start with 3 days a week and build up to 5.